Comes to Talk. Thanks for tuning in. We got a lot to cover today, and I'll be covering a lot of things on the show today. We're getting more information about the grotesque acts created, committed by this Palestinian Hamas terrorist in D.C., which, that young couple just about to be engaged, murdered by this animal, totally radicalized by the American left. And, these liberals out there, the Democrat Party, they have radicalized this guy. What the Democrat Party has become is a hate group. They're a hate group. That's it. They hate Jews, they hate whites, they hate Americans. They just hate. They hate Christians, right? I mean, the Democrat Party is a hate group that radicalized this terrorist to do what it is he did in D.C. That's a fact when you see it, and I don't see how anyone could disagree with that. All this endless discussion of what happened. It's the Democrats. I mean, look at Ilhan Omar. She wouldn't condemn it when she was asked. She's afraid, because she's on that other side. That's exactly right. I mean, it's got to be said. The Democrat Party is a domestic radical hate group that's radicalizing millions of people. Not as many as they used to, but it doesn't take that many in this country at different levels. So I'm going to talk about that on the show this morning. I'm also going to, the thumbnail. I already have the video up, for the live stream. I already have it set up, even though I'm not live yet. Welcome, everyone. Mark in Pompano, welcome. But I'm going to go through the big, beautiful bill. In particular, talk about the Social Security, which Social Security is not something I would normally talk about. But they're trying to say that we didn't get the Social Security taxes taken out. That's not true, and I'm going to go through that as well this morning. And it's a little complex, but we'll break that down and talk about it, because and even when I explain it, liberals are not going to accept it. Okay, liberals are liars. They're just liars, and they're looking for any negative thing they can grab onto to trash President Trump with. So I'm going to go through it and explain it. It's rather simple what happened with Social Security in the bill and how the seniors are getting their deduction, but they're not going to accept it. So, you got to admit that going right into it, but I'm still going to go through it. And I got a lot of other things I'm going to cover on the program as well. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. In a little more than an hour, I'll be live on the radio, and I'll be streaming here on YouTube, taking live calls. And today's Friday, which is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Friday's show, you can call me about anything and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics I bring up. But those are a couple of the big ones. I got a lot of other things too, but those are a couple of the big ones I'm going to cover. And if there's anything you guys think I should be covering today, let me know. That's newsworthy. Why would we want to make Great Britain great again? Okay, I misread that. Well, Great Britain's in big trouble. They don't even call it Great Britain anymore. That's the problem, It all went downhill when everybody just refers to it as the UK. That was the beginning of the end. Now, what I started the stream with, and I'm going to ask you guys this question, this Islamic terrorist that killed these kids yesterday in D.C., it's just sad. They were about to be engaged. The girl was beautiful. Her whole life was stolen. His whole life was stolen. And there's this endless talk in the media, like, how did this guy get radicalized? And and what I said at the beginning of this stream was this: the Democrat Party radicalized him. The Democrat Party is a hate group, radicalizing their followers. And I'd like to ask you guys, yes or no, do you agree with me that the Democrat Party is a hate group radicalizing their followers. I believe so. Very obvious. Yeah. I mean, it's time to call them out. I mean, I hate all this. A lot of times people call me and, some of these millennials and Gen Zs that are liberals, and they use all these fancy words and language that they really don't understand. And I say, oh, another college boy, or did you go to college? And I'm a college graduate, so I'm not against education. My wife went to college, we're college educated. But, what's happening in our media and our college system these days is it's become and this is because of Obama and what he did in his 8 years. It's become just a play. We used to call the universities liberal indoctrination centers. They're not liberal indoctrination centers anymore. They are domestic. We got to think of a name for it. They're teaching hate. They're brainwashing. It's not just a liberal indoctrination center. That's just too mild. We need a new phrase. They're radicalizing people to brainwash them into thinking all kinds of craziness. I got to think of a new name, because liberal indoctrination center is just too mild. That's almost like a joke, a punchline. We got to think of a new descriptor for what they're doing. But this guy was just radicalized by the Democrat Party. No doubt about it. Militant farms, yeah, that's something. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at how many liberals. I got calls yesterday trying to tell us, gaslighting, that there's nothing happening with the white farmers in South Africa. I mean, can you say something? So they're nuts. They're just freaking nuts. Well, I agree with Ben Shapiro on Israel, because I support Israel. He's a kind of an annoying guy. Not a big fan of his. Not a nice personality. Someone asked me if there's any shows that I like, because usually what I do, I talk. I don't talk about things I like too much. I usually, the things I typically talk about are things I take issue with. But someone said, "Oh, who do you like?" You're somebody. I like Benny Johnson. I like Benny Johnson. I like Megyn Kelly these days. And Megyn Kelly, she's putting together her own media company, and she's got this one guy. He's pretty good. I like him. What's his name? Lake Lauren. And who is the other guy that she just brought in, who's a little older, used to be on CNN? I forgot his name. Gosh darn it. He's pretty good too. But there are people I like. There's others too. I just don't talk about the people I like so much. It's more interesting to talk about the people you have issues with, right? Sean Ryan, he seems all right to me. I haven't really listened to him too much. I've seen some clips of interviews. Benny Johnson overproduced intros. Yeah, some of them are pretty funny. Bill O'Reilly, who doesn't like Bill O'Reilly? I was talking about kind of like the new people. But yeah, Bill O'Reilly, I like Bill O'Reilly. Less clickbait from Benny? Does he really use clickbait? Usually with Benny Johnson, I don't watch other people on YouTube too much and things like that, and I've talked this before. I don't listen to a lot of other shows because I don't want to be influenced on what I do based on what other people are doing. Like some of the examples of that are well, I'll have something on my mind that I'm going to talk about, and then I'll see somebody else talk about it. It's like, oh, they've already covered it, I'm not going to do it. Or, their ideas and thoughts and conclusions and things, I don't want them to influence me. So I don't listen to a lot of other shows, but I watch clips on X from different people. So I don't see Benny Johnson's like full video or show. But I like Benny Johnson. Megyn Kelly, I think, does all right. Megyn Kelly does pretty good. She has good interviews. I used to like Candace Owens before she went anti-Trump and anti-Semitic. Lake Lauren's pretty good. He's new. He's funny. I like him. But what is that guy, the other guy that Megyn Kelly brought in? He's older, my age, a little older maybe. What is that guy's name? He's very good. I want to say Halpern. Is it Halpern? I cannot remember his name. He's very good. Used to be on CNN. He's with Megyn Kelly now. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Halpern. If somebody out there knows, let me know. But there are people I do like and respect. I tell you who I don't like. I don't like Jeremy from The Quartering. The guy says nothing. He says absolutely nothing. Oh, the Trump tariffs are awesome. They're winning everything. Someone asked me, and on a YouTube comment I saw this morning, okay, about the South African president meeting. They said, well, what did we get out of it? Well, first off, he's not getting his money that he was begging for. That's one thing. And President Trump put the biggest spotlight on the planet on the genocide of the white farmers over there. So that's what we got out of it so far, but there'll be more. And they're trying to, I saw in the Daily Mail today, they're trying to create this fake thing that Elon is on the way out or is out with Trump. They got an article, the moment that led to, Elon is tight with Trump. He's still the first bud, nothing's changed, but he does have a major company to run. And so he takes breaks from time to time to go run his companies. He launches rockets in space like pretty much every day. He launches rockets from Florida, California, and Texas. You know, so Elon is still tight with Trump as ever. Just, you know, more BS from the left. If I'm a bum with no life, what does it say about you who's watching me? You got to be worse than me. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, I'm not going to use this because I don't want to wake up my wife, but my wife and I, this is not an ad, okay? I bought this, and it's not an ad or anything, and I've only had it for a day. Haven't used it too much yet. But, you know, a lot of you know my wife has health issues and everything, so we got walkie-talkies. We just got 2 of them, and we can only talk to each other. This is not paid or anything. It's not a sponsorship. Rapid radio, so that we can communicate a little bit better, you know, away from the phone. And it's actually good. We actually used it a little bit this morning when I first got up because I was in my studio doing some production work for my podcast, and she called me on the walkie-talkie. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Rapid radio. They work nationwide, and I can actually get a, they work anywhere in the United States, all 50 states. I can actually get the, upgraded to work internationally, which I'm going to do before the cruise, so I can talk to my wife when we're on our MAGA cruise. Well, it's this phone conversation, you know. You got to assume everything's being monitored these days. Yeah, Ilhan Omar wouldn't condemn the murder of 2 people because they were Jews. Can you believe that when she was asked? There's some things that are universally condemned. Murder of innocent people. But Ilhan Omar doesn't think there were any innocent Jews, apparently. Oh, hey, Gary. Yeah, you can actually, this thing here is, I should approach them to sponsor me. But you can have them one-on-one or a group. So you could have literally hundreds of radios in a group, and you can talk to people individually. So, but it's just the 2 of us, so we just have them connected. But I might get one so that my mother can have one and be in the group, because my mother's retired, you know, Mom lives alone. It's kind of like the fallen and I can't get up kind of thing. Yeah, and where's the media going after Ilhan Omar? I mean, you know, I know she posted something on X later or something, but when someone asks you to condemn a murder of two innocent people, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. But I would think in her mind, there's no such thing as an innocent Jew. That's how I took it. Mm-hmm. You know, no, I'm not a Jew. I'm not Jewish. No. You don't have to be a Jew to support Israel and, of course, condemn the murder of innocent people. Right? I mean, come on. Unless you're Ilhan Omar, you can't condemn the murder of innocent people. Yeah, there really needs to be some accountability for her. I mean, it was just, that was awful. So that monster shot over 20 rounds. The girl didn't die right away. She was trying to crawl away, and he went and shot her again. I mean, what a monster. What a monster. And he wasn't even fazed by it. Well, he's going to be in a tiny little cell for the rest of his life. Judge Jeanine was great in her press conference. I'm wondering if Trump is setting Judge Jeanine up to be Attorney General. What do you guys think? She was pretty badass in that press conference yesterday. She was very good. Yeah, I'll show you on one of the streams at regular times of the day. I'll show you how the radio works. It's got a volume on it, so but it can be pretty loud. Oh yeah, Judge Jeanine was amazing. Absolutely amazing in that press conference yesterday. She's pretty tough. She's been out of the law for a while, working at Fox, and she slid back in it. The Five's going to take a hit without her. I don't know. I'll tell you one criticism I have for the Five. I like Great Gutfeld. You guys like Great Gutfeld? I like Great Gutfeld. He's very good. However, I don't like his reading everything he says on the Five. Everything's written out on papers. You can see the paper with the handwriting on it, and he's always looking down at it. I don't like that. Get him a teleprompter, but I talk off the top of my head. Now, sometimes I'll read through articles like today. I'm over the big, beautiful bill, and I'm going to go through the thing about Social Security, the Social Security taxes in the big, beautiful bill, and I'm going to read from an article in The Hill and an article in a local newspaper here in South Florida, the Palm Beach Post, which is the hometown newspaper of Mar-a-Lago, which is it's a liberal rag, the Palm Beach Post. But he reads like his analysis. I wish he wouldn't do that. I like Gutfeld. I think he's very funny. But I don't like that he reads everything he says on the Five like that. I don't watch his nighttime show, but at least get a teleprompter. I've known people that do shows like I do that have everything written. Glenn Beck, I believe, does that. When you listen to Glenn Beck, it sounds like a book on tape, doesn't it? A lot of times, one thing I did not get to yesterday, and I might today, is the liberals are looking for a liberal version of Joe Rogan, whatever that means. The liberals are always looking for a liberal alternative to a conservative voice. I remember when Clinton became president, they were looking for a liberal version of Rush Limbaugh, and they never found it. And they tried some heavy hitters. And then in 03, 04, they tried, Yep, here's my wife right now. Yeah, I'm streaming in the driveway, but I was going to show everybody the radio anyway. They were talking on the radio.
Streaming now?
Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'll when I've done streaming, I'll text you. Or you can text me now. See, isn't that better? That's pretty cool. There's something she wants to tell me that you guys can't hear, obviously. The beep is the over. It beeps. Pretty cool, isn't it? I like it. It's better than the phone. And then I won't be in the phone so much. Other than what I'm streaming like now on my iPhone. Yeah. It's a pretty cool thing to have, I think. Yeah, I'm in the driveway of my house. I came out here to stream so I didn't wake her up, but obviously that didn't work. It's nationwide, anywhere in the United States. And I can add on to it. If I like it, I'm going to add on international when I'm on the cruise. Okay. All right, got your text. Yeah, our text just popped up. Okay. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I know, I like it. I think it's cool. We just got it yesterday. It's better than having to use the phone when, you know. Well, main reason I got it, because my wife has a lot of health issues, and I want her to be able to reach me at any time. It is loud. No, she wanted to know if I was going to be at the radio station today or broadcast from the home studio. I'm not going to the radio station today. That's all. It is. It's a pretty cool thing to have. I like it. I think it's cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. You know, we only had it since yesterday. So anyway, where were we? I lost track of where we were. I was talking about the replacement for Rogan, which they're not going to find. A liberal alternative to Rogan. What was I talking about? I forgot. Well, whatever. Oh, well, there was something else I was going to cover. Well, I am going to cover that. The liberals are always looking for a new voice, and it never works. When they were looking for a new voice, a liberal version of Rush Limbaugh, they tried some really heavy hitters. I mean, some big heavy hitters. And they all failed. You know, the reason, you know, people wonder, why isn't there like a liberal version of Rogan or Air America tried to do that when they were on the radio? Or why isn't there a liberal version of Rush Limbaugh or any of these people? And there's several reasons. One, liberals, if you were doing a liberal show, like I do, say I was doing a liberal show, you wouldn't be able to take calls because you wouldn't be able to defend yourself. And people don't want to be lied to. You'd have to go on the air and lie, and if you got a conservative call, you'd be torn up. But they never will find a liberal alternative to conservatism. Liberalism does not hold up to public debate. That's it. It just doesn't. Why do you think Jennings is kicking so much ass on CNN? He's very good, but, you know, he's not using much effort because he's up against these liberals, and what they're doing just doesn't hold up. I mean, you hear it with people that call me. Now, today is Friday. It's open phones on the program on Friday. So I'll be live in about an hour. And you can call me live on the air. The number will be pinned in that live stream. And Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call me about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. Yeah, hurricane season. You know, hurricanes in Florida, it's not as bad as people think. It really isn't. We don't get as many hurricanes as you think. They get more hurricanes in, like, Louisiana, Alabama, the Carolinas than we do. The part of Florida I'm in, which is South Florida, you know, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, we don't get most of the hurricanes that even hit Florida. Most of the hurricanes that hit Florida They hit other parts of Florida. But in Florida, the buildings and the houses, we have this thing called the Miami-Dade Code, the Miami-Dade Hurricane Code. And they have the strictest codes for construction in America. And everything is built to the Miami Hurricane Codes. And like my house was built in the around 1980. It's been through so many hurricanes, it's fine. And then you're also prepared. It's not that big of a deal. People make such a big deal about hurricanes, like they're afraid. It's not that big of a deal. The people that run into trouble during hurricanes are the ones that live on the beach and don't evacuate when they're told to evacuate. But it's not, hurricanes is not a big problem in Florida. It's really not a problem. Either are alligators, by the way. I've lived in Florida since 1981, 1982. I don't know anyone that's been eaten or bitten by a gator. So. Yeah, my mother's house is in Lauderdale. It's not too far from the beach. It was built in the 50s, early to mid-50s. It's been through, I don't even know how many hurricanes. I don't worry about my mom when a hurricane comes. Yeah, I'm going to go through the big, beautiful bill. I'm going to go when I go live today, and in particular, the Social Security part of it. The Social Security taxes, very important. And talk about this radical Democrat terrorist that murdered these kids in Washington night before last. Range day tomorrow, yeah. Haven't been to the range in a while. Not for quite a while, actually. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. I mean, but look, the Democrats radicalized this terrorist that killed these kids in D.C. night before last. And the Democrats also radicalized Luigi that murdered the pharmaceutical guy. Right? I mean, that's the Democrat Party is a hate group that is brainwashing and radicalizing young people in this country. Listen to the ones that call me. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can tell by listening to them. They're clueless. That's it. I mean, do you agree? Now, I asked this at the beginning of the stream. There's people that weren't here then. I believe that this terrorist in D.C. night before last, they killed these poor Jewish kids, was radicalized by the Democrats and turned into a terrorist, just like Luigi was turned into a murderer who murdered the pharmaceutical head by the Democrats. Do you agree with me, yes or no, that the Democrat Party is a radical hate group that's brainwashing young people in this country to hate? I say yes. I don't even think it's up for debate. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. I got to put my seatbelt on, guys. All right. Dark MAGA mode engaged. There's no doubt in my mind, and that's the reality. I got this one clip of this idiot on CNN who was blaming Trump for the shooting in D.C. Can you believe this? That he has federal resources to focus on deportations. That's why that happened. Are you freaking kidding me? They're out of their minds. They're completely out of their freaking minds. Guess we're in dark manga mode temporarily. It is 5:09 in the morning. I gotta turn the air conditioning on in this car. There we go. It's Florida. I need the AC, even at 5:10 a.m. So we got a lot to cover today. A lot to cover. But when I go over what Trump and the Republicans did for the Social Security taxes, the Democrats, aren't going to accept it. The Democrats are so desperate to have a victory on something, they're going to claim that Trump lied about the taxes on Social Security. That is not true. But no matter what I say, they're going to continue to say that. So, what are you going to do? They got to have something, I guess, to grab onto. They're desperate. They're like a man hanging off a ledge of a skyscraper. Just total desperation, and it's hopeless for them. They've lost everything, and they have no hope of coming back. Man, that car that went by just smelled. Oh, my goodness. It smells like it's on fire, that truck. It's a truck pulling a trailer that is way too big for the truck. I mean, a lot too big. They're going to have a big problem. I don't get all these morning exercise people. I just don't get it. Would you be exercising before work? Hell no. Who's got time for that? I just pass people jogging down the street. Go in the gym over here. It's crazy to me. Totally freaking insane. One thing I've noticed is, there's a lot of, as you get older, there's a lot of people my age that they've been workout fanatics their whole life. In particular, the women. It ages their hands like no one's business. I mean, I saw Christine Home the other day. She's got the hands of like an 80-year-old woman that's from working out. But I don't see any benefit to it. I'm not gonna be exercising in the mornings. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, people my age and older. Look at Madonna's hands. Oh my goodness. She's a rancher. Yep, she is. She's pretty badass too. That's why they hate her. That's why they hate her. Because she's so good. She's very good. I was talking yesterday about Marco Rubio running for president, and he seems to be remember, President Trump was asked a month or so ago if JD is going to be the nominee, and he didn't say yes. So, he seems to be leaning on Marco Rubio to me. Don't you think that Rubio is Trump's favorite? in his cabinet? I think he is. He's always leaning on Marco Rubio. I don't know why, but he does. And he's very good, Marco Rubio. They're all good, but he's always leaning on Rubio. Yeah. I like Rubio. He was my senator. He's very good. I mentioned this once or twice, but when he was running for re-election on the Senate, his campaign called me and asked if I wanted to interview him. I couldn't believe it. I was very surprised, but yeah, I did. I interviewed him, and it was a good interview. Well, a lot of people used to be a lot of things. He's done a lot of growing up in the last 10 years. He and I are the same age. Yeah, I was shocked when they called. I was like totally blown away. Did you see that Scott Adams got a call from Trump and he sent it to voicemail because he didn't recognize the number? Oh my goodness. Take all number, so many people do that. If they don't recognize the number, they send it to voicemail. I answer it because I always, maybe it's my daughter calling from somewhere, from a different number. I would kill myself. If I got a call and sent it to voicemail and it was Trump, I would be like so upset that I missed that call. But I was surprised to see him there. I don't know what his situation is, family-wise. But if I only had a couple months to live, I would let you guys know. But I wouldn't be streaming every day if I only had a few months to live or a couple months to live, like he says he has. I would spend time with my family, and maybe there's a couple things I'd like to see that I haven't seen in the world. But other than that, I don't think I wouldn't be on YouTube every day if I had 2 or 3 months to live. He said he had till the summer. So I don't know what his situation, but there's a lot of people who document their dying on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, I get calls, they're spam. Sometimes it's listeners who got my number that'll call me, and then they'll say nothing when I answer, a lot of that. I don't support the euthanasia. It's very dangerous. I don't support that. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. I mean, look in some of these European countries, how it's gotten out of control. Trump is not cognitively declining at all. It's the opposite. He is not a mortal man. I don't know how he does all that he does. Look at everything they did. I was thinking about this. During that, and I'm going to talk about this too on this show. You see, when you guys watch me early on, you get kind of a preview of things that are on my mind. And I may not get to all this stuff, but I was watching President Trump with Bobby Kennedy yesterday about the prescriptions. Dr. Oz, when he put Dr. Oz in charge of getting his executive order on prescription prices implemented, Dr. Oz seemed nervous, right? Then Trump says, if you don't do it, I'll fire you. But the pharmaceutical companies, I think they have more power than the military-industrial complex. They own all the politicians and the media. And I was watching President Trump talk about, taking them on with his executive order. And I was just, thinking everything that the Never-Trumpers did to try to stop Trump. And they literally shot him. And he only survived in Butler because the girl had put the PowerPoint presentation on the other side of the stage than they normally do. The PowerPoint was like probably his cue, right? And then they tried to do it again here in Florida at the golf course. and everything he's doing, as an example, the prescription drugs, but everything he's doing is why they tried to kill him, to stop him from doing these things. So think about it. When you're opposing Trump, you're doing what these killers were trying to do. They were trying to stop him from being able to do these great things, right? I mean, I'll never forget it. And the one at the golf course, that was so shocking. I remember I saw that it happened, and I called Steve Kane, and I said, they tried to shoot Trump again. He's like, what? I said, turn on the TV. They tried to shoot him again. They tried to kill him. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy. But they were trying to stop him from doing the things he's doing now. The prescription drugs, ending the wars, calling out the murders of the white farmers in South Africa, this tax bill, the big, beautiful bill. These are all the things they didn't want him to do. And that's why at the beginning of the week, I was so frustrated with Bongino and Kash Patel. I mean, you look what Trump has stood up to and is still standing up to, right? USAID, Michael, yeah, everything. All these things he's doing is why they shot him in Butler. They were trying to stop all this. Yeah. Insanity. Yeah, I mean, who's not disappointed in Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Bongino? And I got so much to cover today. Plus, it's open phones, open MAGA Mike Friday on the program. But one of the things I was thinking of bringing up is I thought Judge Jogn was amazing in her press conference yesterday about this terrorist, the radicalized Democrat terrorist in D.C. And I was wondering if Trump is warming her up to be the Attorney General replacing Bondi. Right? Remember, she's only the interim U.S. attorney, right? And you could be an interim Attorney General, too. Do you think that's at all possible? Let me ask you this. Don't answer that question. Yes or no? Do you think Trump is disappointed with Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Bongino? Yes or no? I mean, I saw her at the White House, Pam Bondi, with, was it the UF team that was there? He's got to be disappointed. I can't imagine he's not. Possible. I would say yes. Now, then again, we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. So, if they make some lawfare arrest and get some good indictments, I'll be happy to say I was wrong and they're doing their job, But right now, that interview, I was very disappointed. Kash said, give them 1 to 2 weeks. We're almost a week into the 2 weeks, right? Because that interview aired Sunday, so it was recorded like Friday or Saturday. But you look at the other people, they're doing everything. Bobby Kennedy's doing what he is supposed to do. Judge Jogn was awesome yesterday. Pete Hegseth is doing what he was supposed to do. Linda McMahon is doing what she was charged with. So they're all doing things that except the Justice Department, we're not seeing action. I just thought Bongino was going to be like Tom Homan, out in the field with a team of agents, not wearing a suit and tie, but, wearing field clothes that they wear and knock doors in. That's what I was expecting. So maybe he's not that kind of guy. Yeah, he didn't seem himself. But listen, Kash Patel said Things will be revealed in 2 weeks. We're almost a week into the 2 weeks. Oh, a caller a couple months ago called me on the air, and I think had a good way to describe. Elon Musk is a modern day Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison. I mean, type. Albert Einstein more so. The genius. Everything Trump does is good. Everything. Everything. But Judge Janine, would you like, now this is what I want you guys to answer. Yes or no? Would you like to see Judge Janine replace Pam Bondi as Attorney General? Yes or no? Would you like to see Judge Janine replace Pam Bondi as Attorney General? She was pretty badass yesterday, Judge Janine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, a lot of yeses. Mm-hmm. And some of the yeses don't know if Trump's disappointed with Bondi. That's good, yeah. Yeah. I like Pam Bondi too. But, you know, just because you like somebody and they're a good somebody yesterday asked, why am I so short with Mike from Louisiana? When he calls, I like Mike from Louisiana. He's a very nice guy. He just doesn't have much to say. You know, and maybe if he called once a week, I'd be okay. But he calls around the same time every day, and all he does is repeat what I had said, right? So, you know, he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy, but he's not a good caller, right? You understand what I mean? So same thing with Pam Bondi. Now, Pam Bondi comes through with some big arrest. With these lawfare people, all will be forgotten. But I was hoping to see some lawfare arrests by now. Weren't you guys? Well, listen, guys, I got to take off. But if you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll be live in about 30 minutes on the next stream, taking your calls from the studio. All right? Take care.